right, guys, welcome to Tiffany Tells Testimonies podcast. Back to you live. This is the Tres, uno, dos, tres episode in the building. I am excited to do this. I'm excited to be here. I have a special guest with me today. I usually have a little jingle, but I don't got no jingle today. I just got a saying. Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want, okay? That's it. Tell them what you want. That's what they say. So anyway, let me jump into the episode. I have a special guest with me today. MaryJane is in the building. So why don't y'all go ahead and clap it up at the house for her. You know what I'm saying? Hey, MaryJane. You know what I'm saying? So excited to have her here. I usually ask the first question is, who is MaryJane?
Who is MaryJane?
Who that?
Oh my God, MaryJane. Okay, I gotta say who MaryJane is, and
Go
not
ahead.
all the roles that
Okay.
I play. Okay, so
Come on.
MaryJane is a God-fearing believer who loves her community and her family and friends, and I'm really just trying to figure out who I am at this time in my life. I've done so many things and been so many different roles that now at this time in my life, I'm just clearing off my plate and not being not. Go ahead.
Sorry.
You need some water?
I got some. Listen, I'm going to be drinking some water today. These allergies out here, I don't know where y'all from, but we got allergies here in Texas. Okay? Go ahead.
And
Sorry
it's the spring
about that.
season
Go
is
ahead.
coming out. Okay, so anyway, but at this point in my life, I really had an identity crisis, honestly. Just trying to figure out, get rid of the old me, becoming the new me. That's in the space that I am right now. And so, like, I've been shedding people, habits, just things, dreams that I used to have. I don't, desire anymore. Just fixing my life to align with God.
Amen.
Yeah.
Come on. Did you
And
hear
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I don't know who that is yet. But I am trying to just, align with God and get rid of all the stuff that I've been carrying for years.
Come on. I mean, we could just end the episode there. There you go.
Period.
We're done. And amazing. I'm excited to kind of dive into that and get a little bit more into that. I know you from Waco High. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You know.
Lion Pride.
You 07 or
07.
07? I'm 06 represent. You know what I'm saying? But also, I'm excited to bring you on the show because you were the first person to allow me on your podcast to promote this book over here. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany
Right.
Tells Testimonies. And so I'm just so grateful that you allowed me to come on your show to share this because nobody else was like opening the door for me
Right.
to come speak. And so thank you. I just want to thank you.
I'm proud of you, girl. I'm really proud of you. Like you said, I remember you at Waco High, but just you did something that I've always wanted to do, and maybe later in life I can do it.
Yes.
But you publishing a book and telling your story and things like that, you just don't realize how helpful it is to other people.
I appreciate that. I do remember during our interview and talking that we had commonalities. And
Right.
one of the commonalities we had was addiction. And so a big part of our conversation today is going to be about addiction. And so before we get started with it, I just kind of want to make a disclaimer and say that I know addiction is a very big topic. I know it's a big genre. We don't want to be insensitive to anybody that is still having battling with it, struggling with it, that has a family member that is really dealing with it. We don't want to invalidate anybody's experience, but we want to share where we are and where what we've gone through, what has helped us practically, and hopefully somebody can listen and relate and it be helpful. So
For sure.
yeah, that I just want to make that disclaimer because people be like, well, you talking about
We ain't
addiction.
judging you.
We ain't judging you.
And we probably done worse than you.
Okay? Some of us got some things. And so we ain't judging you and we ain't trying to act like we're holier than thou.
Right.
So we all have our stuff. And so just want to say that it matters. And you matter.
Right.
Okay? So take us back. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, tell us a little about your story.
Okay. So, on the topic of addiction, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on the topic of addiction.
So I grew up in Waco, Texas, and a single mom who was independent, did everything on her own. She worked hard, and And sometimes she did things that she wasn't proud of. You know, she had to make ends meet, and she sold drugs. She had house parties. She always had house parties. And I would like to think it's because she didn't have no babysitters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so she just brought the party home, right? Mm-hmm. And so we were around it all the time, around drugs, alcohol, violence. You know when people drink and drug, it ends in violence sometimes, and it be your own family members. You know, they just fighting each other.
Right.
So that's how we grew up. We grew up fighting each other, cousins fighting, and like just out of entertainment, the older drunk adults. You know what I mean? Like, so it was just something that was normal for us. Is just our family getting drunk every weekend or weekdays and waking up in the morning, they still up. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're still drinking. And that's Mexican culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Partying night till
the morning, right? Yeah. And so, you know, in high school, I picked it up too. Mm-hmm. I started drinking probably at 14, drinking and smoking at 14 years old, having sex at 14, you know, started running away at 14, going to juvenile. Well, I actually started going to juvenile younger than that, but just the addiction part, I didn't even think I was addicted just because it was normal. I didn't think my mom was an addict. I didn't think nobody was I didn't even, you know, concept that word. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I decided to get sober, like 2 years ago, that I realized I was addicted, you know, because I never was sloppy with drinking. Mm-hmm. I never, you know, fell asleep on the wheel, or I never did anything I didn't remember. You know what I mean? I might did something and was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. But I remember I did it.
Did. Yeah, you didn't black out. You can remember.
And like I would have fights while drinking, but I would have fought you if I was sober. Right, you know what I mean? Just because of the situation, however it transpired. But me knowing I don't want to drink no more, and so I lost my sister-in-law when I was 21 to a drunk driver. Okay. She was killed in a car wreck with my nephews in the car. They were 4 and 5 at the time. So I had about to turn 21. I was 20, about to turn 21. And so when that happened, I knew I could never be sloppy. I knew I couldn't get drunk. I might hurt somebody. I might hurt myself. I knew what it did to my family, what it did to my nephews. Yeah. So I never thought I was addicted, because addiction looks like them people on the street. Yeah. Addiction looks like somebody who is going broke because they got to buy a bottle. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Things like that. To me, that's what I thought addiction was. Until I went sober, until I knew every Friday night wasn't a bottle. You know what I mean? Or every time I went out to eat, I didn't have a margarita. Yeah. Because that, I realized, oh, dang, I'm not drinking like every time that I go out to eat. Right. I didn't realize that I did until I stopped. You know, and then like even after a year sober, I still craved alcohol on Fridays. Sure. I still craved alcohol when I got stressed out. But what helped me get sober, as I was trying to like get closer to God, and you know they say draw closer to God, He draws closer to you. But as I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna get close to God. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna start doing youth ministry. No, that was not my goal. My goal was just to stop running from God, and I knew I belonged with Him. I knew I had to, I knew my relationship mattered. My relationship with God mattered. I didn't know what He was going to do with me after that. I just knew, I was like, okay, God, I'm tired of living for the world. Take over. I'm tired. I'm stressed. Like, whatever you want to do with me, do it. Whoever you got to take them. Take my marriage, take my friends, take my business, take whatever you got to take. I'm just tired of living like this, you know? I didn't know I was going to get sober. I still was drinking and smoking after I said yes, you know? But the more time I spent with God, and I was at a group at church, shout out to Mighty Wind Worship Center.
Okay, Mighty Wind.
But we have these small groups within our church that everybody meets up twice a month, multiple groups in the church. I met with my group one time, and one of my girls, Stephanie, was talking about her addiction to marijuana and how she, you know, she got 6 kids. She got to smoke weed. She got bills. She has, you know, all this stress, which I believe, you know, I believe her, right? And I'm letting her talk. At the time, I'm still smoking weed, but I just let her put herself out there, because I wasn't going to say like,
they said, "Well, you be like, girl, you talking too much.
You want a batch one?"
You said a lot. You said a lot.
Yeah, but I let her go on. And then one of the other girls, Kayla, says, But God should be sufficient for all of that. And I was like, ooh, that was the word for me. She was talking to Stephanie, but when she said that word, it clicked in my head.
Yeah.
And so every time I smoked or drank after that, I was
You heard
like,
that?
is God sufficient?
Ooh.
Is God sufficient for your stress? Is God sufficient for what you're, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just easy. One day I was just like, okay, I'm not going to do this. Actually, I was getting ready to go out and do some things and run some errands. And I was actually about to roll me a blunt. And I was like, I heard God say, you do this, you ain't going to get nothing done. And I was like, all right, let me put this up. I'll get back to it when I get back. I'm going to handle my business, run my errands, and when I get back, I'm going to smoke. I never smoked again. Like, I just left it there and never even thought about it. Like, just because, I don't know. It was like God just, it was like that. You know, that day.
Away.
He told me that, like, if you do this, you ain't going to get nothing done. I went and got everything done that I was supposed to get done. But when I got back, I still didn't care for it. Like, it was just a miracle, really. You know?
Yeah.
And so, and I was a heavy smoker more than drinker. Like I said, I would drink when I go out to eat or Friday nights or something like that. But it wasn't, I didn't think I was addicted. But once I stopped smoking and drinking, it was the alcohol that lingered. It was the alcohol that kept calling me every night. I mean, every Friday, every time. Because, you know, I work in a shop. So Friday night, you done had a long week. You want to drink. You want to have, you know, chill for the rest of the evening, whatever, right? And so that was just my thing. But every Friday, I still had that craving for alcohol. But I didn't put a time limit or anything. Like, I didn't say, like, okay, I'm a go sober for 30 days. I'm going to go sober for 6 months. I never did that. I just took one day at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
One day at a time. Hold on. You done dropped the whole testimony open. Okay. So let me go back real quick. I want to talk about the exposure. Because sometimes addiction comes through exposure of those doing it around you, the influence. And you said that you grew up around it. You saw it. You thought it was normalized.
Right.
This was a continual thing that happened all the time at your house. Do you think that addiction is generational?
Generational and environmental.
Okay.
So, and I just learned that.
Okay.
But generational for sure. My grandma was a club owner. My grandma went to jail. My grandma went to the feds for selling drugs, you know, out of her club. Her parents were, you know, drug dealers. And it was just a whole generational thing.
Yeah.
And then my brothers, they were selling drugs when they were in middle school. You know, they started in middle school. So it's like, it was generational for, you know, and it was just normalized. Like, going to prison was normalized, you know, and we went around all of Texas going to different prisons because my uncles, I have 4 uncles. So them being all scattered around Texas in different prisons and, you know, those were our weekends.
For sure.
And so when my brothers started going, they thought they got cool points. You know, because it was normalized. Yeah. Like, they in the family, they made the, you know, they're in the family business.
Right,
you know
of going to prison.
Going to prison, selling drugs, doing drugs, all that. So it wasn't anything, like, it didn't feel different. Like, it felt like this is what we're supposed to be doing, you know, drinking. Even at a young age, you know, my mom would buy me bottles. My mom would, you know, like, it didn't feel like it was anything wrong, but just, hey, have a shot, you know, turn up, have fun. We're all having fun. It's all family. It's all fun, you know, until you realize I've been doing this for 20-something years now. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have nephews and nieces who are in their early 20s, and, you know, they're starting to experience going out, drinking, and having fun, and I try to tell them, like, you know, it's not all that. It's not all that, but how can you tell them that when they're really having fun? And I know they're having fun because I used to have fun too, but...
Right. And what is fun, though?
Yeah.
You know, what is fun to a certain
extent? Fun is really
just
filling those voids.
Absolutely. And so I definitely think generational is a big part of addiction, you know, and I think about the scripture when it talks about when someone has an idol in their family, and they don't, you know, put it down. They don't repent of it. You know, it affects the 3rd and 4th generation. And so I consider addiction being one of those idols that some people don't put down, and it affects generations after generations. And so when somebody doesn't repent, if somebody in the bloodline doesn't stand up and say, hey, like, I don't know how this came in, I don't know why I'm being affected by this, but it stops with me, you know? And so I really think that you're going to be that person in your family. I'm just already going to exhort you right now, because it's like God always calls at least one in the family to be a pioneer. And it's like, why you choose me? I don't want to be chosen, God. Like, why is all that? I don't understand. But I feel like there's a pioneer blessing over you to be able to be the first in your family to say, hey, like, I don't want to.
We're going in a different direction.
We're not doing this.
Right.
I have children. I'm not going to pass this down. I'm going to figure out what I got to do to be able to get through this, and it's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna stop with me. And I feel like once you are aware, once you start, because we have so much access now in this world. Like, we got internet, we got all of, you can Google anything.
Right.
And so once you start seeing patterns as an adult, as a young person, you don't know. You may know, but you don't want to know.
Right.
You just want to live. But as you become an adult and you can see what is happening, that's when you can do something about it. Now, you can lay down, because a lot of people be like, well, my mama did it, my daddy did it, so this is who I am, versus saying they did it and I don't want to do it. How can I not do that? Let me do some research. Oh, who knew? We got YouTube.
Yeah.
We on YouTube right now. You know what I mean? There's so many things you can look up to find out information about, and I think people are so lazy. They don't want to do the work.
They're comfortable.
Come on, they're comfortable.
They're comfortable.
They're comfortable in this, but it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not comfortable. Tell me about.
It's not whenever you realize it's not working and you want more for yourself. Because some people are older than us and they're comfortable and it's been working for them. They don't desire much more than what they've already done, you know, in their life. For me, I think the fear of failure has always pushed me to want more and more and more and more, because it's not enough.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever enough for me. So that kind of stressed me out, because I'm like, okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? You know?
Yeah.
And it was an addiction. That's addiction to me. You know what I mean? I'm addicted to not failing, addicted to accomplishments.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about it, because there's multiple addictions. People always think drugs. I know we kind of started with drugs and alcohol, but there's so
I
much
have an
addiction.
addictive personality, and I recognize that. So I try to channel that into healthier addictions.
Okay.
Like, for once, I started to get up at 5 a.m. and go work out.
Okay, come on, work out.
5 a.m. I always wanted to be a 5 a.m.er.
Okay.
Never thought I would be it. Never, ever thought I would do it.
Okay, come on, 5 a.m.
Okay, so I've been doing that for some months now.
Okay, come on.
And I feel like I'm addicted to it now. When I don't work out at 5 a.m., I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like, dang, I should have let that stress out. I should have let that all out this morning, you know? But if you can be mentally strong enough to channel your addictions to reading books. I'm addicted to books now. I'm addicted to, you know, whatever, keeping the house clean or whatever. You know what I mean? You can channel your addictions to other things.
Yeah.
And working out has been such a blessing for me, because at first, you know, you hate doing it. You hate getting up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym, and, you know. But after a while, it's like, I need that.
You got that itch.
I need
You got that scratch.
Yeah.
He's like, I ate that burger last night. I got to work this
It
out.
ain't even about weight. It's not about weight for me.
Yeah,
it's about my mental.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't even care about how I look.
Yeah.
Like, I done, you know, like, my weight goes up and down all the time. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You know, like, what matters to me is about my mental, and, like, being mentally strong, and being physically strong comes with working out.
For sure.
But you just feel so mentally good once you pick up that habit and you really work out. And in stressful days, instead of turning to alcohol, you go and work out. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better.
Because I released.
And it's healthy. And it's healthy for you.
You're releasing endorphins. And so it's the same thing we get from highs.
Right.
We're releasing something in a natural way versus something that we engineered.
Right.
And so I always tell people about the erase and replace method. You know, it's like when we want to stop something, we have this mindset, you know, people be like, let go and let God. All right, we understand that. That's great. Say it, bumper stick it, put on a whole little coffee mug. I get it. You can let go and let God, but you also have to discipline. And so I think what you're experiencing right now is discipline.
Right, for sure.
You're disciplining yourself to get up at 5 a.m. to do what you know will produce some results. And so I feel like even when it comes to addictions, like you got to erase and replace it. It's like, okay, like I'm going to stop it, but what am I going to replace it with?
Exactly.
And so instead of picking up the bottle, instead of picking up the weed, I'm going to go work out.
I'm glad you said that because whenever I stopped drinking, I never drank sodas. But when I stopped drinking alcohol, I don't know why I picked up the habit of drinking sodas.
You got sodas.
And I'm like, hold on, what's worse?
Right.
What's worse now?
Oh, gosh.
I done replaced it with something that's probably worse.
Not the sodas.
Yeah, so it is crazy because you have to find some healthy replacements.
Yes, you do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't realize that when you're just trying to break addictions. You don't realize like, hey, I have addictive personality. I need to figure out, instead of smoking a cigarette or instead of smoking weed or instead of drinking, what is going to be my high? What's going to be my, and people go to other things like, gym or whatever. I know people get addicted to tattoos or addicted to,
their phones.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
We still trying to break that addiction.
Okay, help me, Lord. Where's the holy oil? Come on.
Jesus.
Jamal, where's the holy oil? Come on from the back now. And the thing about it is sometimes, people fight about this because when they think about fast, when people biblically fast, that is just food. But some people have to fast from items.
Right.
And so I've done phones, and I've done the whole, like, I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm not going to be on social media. I'm going to fast from it. And, I mean, that's the hardest. I be scratching, itching, looking out the window, looking at...
It's worse than drugs,
do you hear me? I don't know what to do. My mind is gone. I'm like, Jesus. And it's like that the phone can become your idol.
Even if it dies.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't
you
let
ain't
the
got no
phone
charger?
die. Don't let the phone die, because if the phone dies, I die.
Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you... This just goes back to the beginning. We need to be calling and talking to Jesus versus looking at all this stuff.
That phone never dies.
Okay? Come on. Hallelujah. But seriously, like, I think there's, like, people can be addicted to attention.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
social media attention is probably the most dangerous because people... social media, to me, it thrives off negativity. You're going to get way more views if it's negative.
Right.
You're going to get way more. Yeah. And so we have these content creators who create drama, who create negativity just to stay
relevant.
Relevant, to have clout, whatever you want to call it. But then you get addicted to the likes, to the comments, to the shares. You get addicted to the views. And I don't know if I told you this, but I have told people, don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about things like that. Because when you get in your head about trying to, what is the culture want? What do they want to see? What is going to make them like this? What is going to make, and it's like, now you're letting the culture shape who you are, and now you're letting it, you're
I'm getting off assignment.
Yes, you very much so. You're and your character changed, and next thing you know, you don't even know who you are anymore because you don't let this world tell you what to do.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that is a strong believer that I'm part of that one. When God leaves the 99 for that one, if one person watches this and gets something from it, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like let the Lord use me for that. I don't need the platform. I don't need the big,
Right.
Listen, I barely want to do this. I'm just being honest with y'all. I barely want to do this because I had a little son. I want to be a little partridge in a pear tree and just cooped up in the house now.
Yeah.
But God is like pushing me more to be out, and I'm like, I don't need that anymore because I used to need it when I was younger. I'm a middle child, for sure. But I needed the attention. I needed to be relevant. I needed people to see me. I was playing sports, all that type of stuff, dancing, all the things, and I needed that. But once you get God, nothing else.
Yeah, because you
I'm
realize
a strong
nothing
believer.
matters.
I'm a strong believer that once you really have a real relationship with God and it's not transactional, let's make that clear. I don't just go to God. I don't just go to God because I need something.
People think it's like you can have a transactional relationship with God, but what could you give God?
Dust. Nothing.
There's nothing you can do that's going to be good enough for His grace.
No.
There's nothing you can do.
No. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not a fair
exchange. Yeah, it's never transactional.
It's not a fair. It's not. But so many people think we got a microwave God. I can just
and I have to do this. And that's a sad way to live, is to feel like you have to do something in order to earn grace. because you're never, if you think that way, you're never going to be enough.
Right.
And I used to think that way.
Same.
I remember being in church, and so worship is part of my lifestyle. Like, if I didn't have worship, I don't know how close a relationship I could have with God. Because literally, if I miss worship at church, you could I should just go home. Because I can't even lock in now. Because worship, it opens me. You know, it opens my heart, right? And so I remember being in church and the worship being so strong, but I want to be at the altar on my knees bawling. But me knowing who I am, it was like, you can't. You're not good enough. You're not good enough for that. Who are you to go to God and bow down at his feet? Like, girl, you just went out last night, or you was just, doing this or that. You know what I mean? That's me in my head, right? But then I had to think about it in a different way. I'm not bowing down because of who I am. I'm bowing down because of who he is.
Yeah.
And he deserves me to bow down at his feet. You know what I mean? Because I am nobody. I am nothing without him. I don't have anything unless it's from him.
Yeah.
So it's like, so hold back because of who I am, or give him praise because of who he is.
Come on.
I'm not praising because of who I am.
Come on, preacher. Come on.
So it's like I had to really look at worship and praise different.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's not about me. You know, so I would think about, like, everybody in the church knowing who I am.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can't go down to my feet. Everybody gonna see MaryJane down there.
What she got going on?
Yeah, or like,
what she got?
Who she think she is raising her hands?
Right.
Like, if
I
she's
saw
godly.
her post.
Yeah, like she's raising her hands to the Lord, like if she's godly or holy and da da da. You know what I mean? That's all in my head though, because really it ain't about them. It ain't about me. It's about him.
It's about him.
So like. Now I go to the altar and get on my knees.
Come on, surrender.
Praise God. Yes.
Listen, as a person who, like, as you was talking about not being satisfied, it's like I definitely crave the high of everything. Like, let me go for the next move. Let me go for the next city. Let me move to the next big. I was always chasing something to make me satisfied.
Right.
But it's like the Lord told me, he was like, you ain't going to be satisfied outside of me. You just not. And I was like, well, I'm going to show you. Well, he showed me.
There's that song that says, nothing in this life could ever satisfy. And it's so true because I've chased degrees, I've chased careers, I've chased cities, I've chased traveling and, anything to just fill the void and feel like I'm actually living.
Yeah.
I'm living, going out and living by whatever, the money and the glam and all that. But it's like, all of that was just covering up a dead person. All of that was putting makeup on a dead person. My brother struggled with addiction for probably 13 years, maybe longer. I don't know. Probably like 13. Well, longer for sure. But the hard drugs that made him really lose himself and be on the streets, that was a good 13 years that he was on meth, you know. But like I said, he was probably doing drugs since middle school, But the meth, once he lost the mother of his kids, the one from the drunk driver, he lost himself. He went, onto the hardcore drugs. Nothing was high enough. Nothing could feel that pain. Nothing could. And once he got clean, I told him, because I would judge my brother hard. I would hate to see him. I would hate to see him come to my mom's house. I would hate my kids to see him. I would hate for his kids to see him. Anyway, I was just so mad at my brother because he was so smart. And so I held a grudge against him. But once he got clean and once I sobered up and figured out who I was or like starting to become closer to God, I had to apologize to my brother. And I told him the way he looked on the outside is who I looked like on the inside. I was just covering it up. You know what I mean? And that's just everybody. You see people on the streets right now asking for money or walking or, whatever, asleep on the side of the road. And we judge them and we think they're dirty. And they're, you know what I mean? Like, we don't want to help them or we don't want to give them money or we don't want to, you know what I mean? It's because that's their choices. They choose to live like that. But we're all dirty and broken people. We're just not living on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. God has just blessed us and gave us grace. I have a car, I have a home to go to, and that's all because of God. You know, it's not that I could have been in prison, I could have been in jail, I could have been on the streets. Yeah. All that.
Yeah. And I think it's always important to know that that's not the end of their story. There's always there's moments like this where someone can say, "Oh, how did you get there? Where did you come from?" Yeah. Well, let me tell you. You know, that's why we have testimonies, so we can be overcomers of the things that we have struggled with, so it can encourage other people that they can as well.
For sure.
And I think with addiction, I was talking to my husband about this. I was just like, I really think addiction is like the umbrella, but underneath it is like roots. There's roots
For sure.
of why we get to that point. And so, what roots have you found out were connected to your addiction?
The trauma. So, trauma from childhood. You know, obviously the environment I was in and the, you know, generational stuff that was, you know, I you know, came into the world with, right? But when I started going to juvenile and feeling, so my mom, you know, as I said, she did what she could to support us, but there was a lot of abuse on her, you know, her abusing me, her physically abusing, mentally, verbally, you know, all that. And then me running away a lot, me going to juvenile for running away or whatever. I wouldn't say I was a criminal because I didn't like breaking houses or, you know, do things that were just crazy, you know, criminal. But I would fight. I would go to juvenile because I was already on probation. So once you fight on probation, you're violating your, you know, things like that. So, but I wouldn't break the law, you know, like that. So I didn't feel like I belonged in those places. And even when I would be in juvenile, I would be super depressed, crying, you know, like not knowing when I'm going home, what's going to happen, you know, coming from a bloodline of people who go to prison, who, you know, do this. I remember crying to God in juvenile and asking him to help me be somebody. Like, I don't want to be like my family. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to live like this. I want to become somebody. And I remember making a promise to God and just telling him, like, I won't run away no more. I don't care if she beats me. I don't care what happens. I'm going to stay. You know, I'm not going to come back to juvenile ever again. I don't care what happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because what would happen is me and my mom would get into it and I'd just run away. I didn't want to, you know, stay there. I would leave. I was a flighter. I would fighter and flighter. Yeah. I would fight people at school, but I would flight from my mom. You know, I would just leave. Yeah. And so being a runaway at 14, and I mean months gone from my house. You know what I mean? Like my mom not knowing where I was for months. Yeah. I'm in 9th grade, supposed to be in school. I'm not going to school. Yeah. You know what I mean? I pretty much just dropped out and just living out of a trash bag with my friends, homeless. You know, just living, running away from. Once this parent got tired of me, I go to another friend's house for a while, for some weeks, and then I gotta go find somewhere else to go. You know, that was my lifestyle in high school for probably 9th and 10th grade. Wow. And then I made the choice to be like, my mom left me in there one time. They had told me I could go home, but she wasn't gonna come pick me up, you know. So I had to stay there and for some more days, and then they kind of like told her like, if you don't come get her, you're gonna get an abandonment charge, you know. So she had to come get me, but I feel like that's where it started with my depression and anxiety, and then that's where I would turn to drugs and alcohol to feel that. Not realizing, I didn't realize, oh, I'm broken, I want to drink or I want to smoke. It was just like, I'm a runaway and this is what the crowd that I'm with is doing, so I'm doing it. I'm not strong enough to be like, oh, I don't do that, or I'm like, everybody's doing it, let's do it. My mama did it, my daddy did it, my uncles and aunts do it, you know, whatever. It was just a thing to do. Yeah. But as I get older and I look back and I'm like, remembering all the depression times, all the crying, all the running away, all the like uncertainty of where I'm gonna stay, what I'm gonna do, that anxiety was building up over time. Yeah. And here I am, 36, almost 37, and now I'm seeking help. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, how many kids are dealing with that right now, and they don't even realize it. Yeah. I couldn't tell you if I had a counselor at 14 or 15 and they tell me, are you depressed or do you have any anxiety, I would say no, not realizing yes, I am. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it looks like at that age. But when I look back, I'm like, girl was under major depression. For sure. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but it makes sense with all the things that you went through, you know, that led to that. And so, like, trauma being a root to the addiction. I think about me like I was addicted to marijuana, porn, and masturbation, and so that was on rotation. But that came after I lost my parents. Really, I dibbled and dabbled in college. When I was in high school, I was a straight A student. I was tight. Like I was like, I need to, get a scholarship, play basketball. So I didn't do nothing. But when I got to college, I tried everything under the sun. I was just like, what? Parents ain't here. I'm going wild.
Yeah.
So I tried everything, but I didn't. It wasn't enough to get me hooked. But when I lost my parents in 2014, after that, I kind of was just like, I need something. And so that's when I started getting back into that. And what I knew the root of that was pain. There was such a deep void of them. They were my gods at the time. They were the people I worship. And so it was like, well, if they're not here for me to live for, what do I have?
Right.
And so I turned to the marijuana. I turned to the drugs to help me cope. And I mean, at the end of the day, it just left me more empty. That we go to these things to cope, but then they leave us more empty because that's the part that we never get satisfied. So every night I got to do the same thing to get that same high, but then I got to do a little bit more.
No, I definitely think that even anybody who's dealing with addiction, you have to find the root of where it started or where it came from, because there's no way to heal. You know what I mean? You'll just keep covering it up with other things, And so recently I went and made an appointment with a psychiatrist because as I'm going through a sobriety, and I do think other things trigger the addiction. So if you are addicted to anything that's unhealthy right now, you have to find out where it started. The root, and pull it from the ground. Because, if you just chop off the top,
what's going to happen?
It's going to grow right back.
Okay.
And I know that because, so the last time, I don't know if I was sober the last time I saw it when we did our interview.
Yeah.
Was I sober?
You were like 3 weeks.
Okay, so I was freshly sober. Okay.
You were fresh.
Yeah, so I did go probably about, because I did not pull that route. I went probably 13 months sober.
Okay.
And then my sister got married, and so at her wedding, I had a drink, or a couple drinks. I didn't get sloppy or nothing, but I was like, okay, it's the wedding. I'm celebrating. Like I said, I never put a time on it. I never said 30 days, 6 months, 3 months. I never put a time limit on it. But once my sister's wedding came up, I felt the urge to be like, okay, we celebrating, all the families together. I went through Thanksgiving, holidays, Christmas, New Year's. I went through the holidays with no urge. I was around my family. They're all drinking. They're all smoking. It was fine. I was cool. I didn't need any of it. And I probably didn't need to drink either at my sister's wedding. But it was just, for me, it was like, okay, I'm good. I think I can have a drink, just for the wedding. And I am good. Like, since then, I probably had a few drinks, here and there. But it does not satisfy me. It's not the taste that, like, I think I want it. Like, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to have a margarita. But I can't finish it. I can't do it. Like, I can't get myself to even get drunk, or, like, not that I want to, but I'm just saying, like, I know it'll never go that far no more because I done took that taste out of my mouth. And now when I taste it, it's not the same at all. And I'm like, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you, God, because I don't even want it no more. It doesn't do nothing for me, you know? So, but I do think that when I'm stressed out, that's what I want to have. So pulling that root is what I need to do because, like I said, that's what I've always seen my people do, is to turn to alcohol or drugs or, violence. Those three things were just the norm for us to do once we're frustrated, stressed out, or, got too much going on. We just turn to, those three things. So I started to meet with a psychiatrist. This month, actually early this month, I met with a psychiatrist for the first time in my 36 years. But I do not recommend waiting 36 years for anybody, okay? Yeah. Like, I wish I would have had a psychiatrist at 14. Yeah. I wish I would have had one at 16 or 20 or 25. Yeah. But here I am, 36, and they're telling me stuff I've already known. Yeah. Like, you're diagnosing me with things, mental illness that I've known, just been living my life, struggling with it, not realizing. So I was reading a book. It's called The Answer to Anxiety. It's by Joyce Meyer.
Really?
And my mom got it to me. She knows I've been dealing with anxiety. And so she got me this book. And shout out to my mom, first of all.
Come on,
Shout
Mom.
out to my mom, because I don't give her enough credit. Like, I know we've been through a lot. Our relationship went through a lot when I was younger. But my mom is a beautiful angel. She's an angel on earth. And, like, who she is now, today. Oh.
Got some community cough drops in there. Okay, I'm about to pop them. Pop them like I used to pop.
Like an addiction. What you got her doing?
Okay. Oh, Jesus, there's some holy cough drops. Praise the Lord. Okay, your mom. Let's go back.
Okay, so shout out to my mom, because, like I said, like she's done some crazy stuff growing up. But my mom had me when I'm her third child. She has 4. I'm her third one, and she was 20 when she had me.
Okay.
So by 20, she already had her third child.
Wow.
By 23, she had 4, all on her own. So I can't imagine the stress, and I just give her credit, because raising 4 kids on her own is not easy.
Listen.
I would have needed drugs and alcohol too.
Listen. Shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I love my mom, and me and her are so close now. Like, me and her got a great relationship. She's my number one, best friend ever. I could talk to her about anything. She's been through so much that I don't feel judged. You know what I mean? Because she done been through it all, Even the nasty, dirtiest things that I can tell her is she's like, oh, yeah, I've been through it. I've been through it all. So I love my mom and everything that she's been through. I do hope that she seeks her help, because she went through so much as a child. And I think that's what we don't realize, because so many people get stuck and being like, oh, well, my mom did this, or this is just the way that it is. This is how it is. But you don't realize your mom had trauma. Yeah. And so heal yourself, you got to give your parents grace. You got to forgive them for sure. Because I love my mom. Like, don't get it misunderstood. Yeah. She's the best, and she had to grow up. We grew up together. Me and my mom grew up together. When she found God, it was a blessing for the whole family, but it was like something that she always kept God in our lives, like whether she was praying with us or praying over us or listening to worship music. It just didn't always match her lifestyle. Yeah. But God was always there. And even going through all that, like I said, in juvenile, I had God in there with me. Yeah. I started my church in 7th grade, and I still go to that church. But Mighty Wind was like a safe haven for me. So when I look back on all the trauma, I could either look back at all the negative things that the devil did to try to destroy me and my family and my brothers and my sister and everything that went through with our family. Or I could look back and see all the blessings. Like, we never had our lights cut off. Yeah. We never went without food. We, it was toxic and abusive sometimes, but that wasn't always it. My mama had a lot of love for us. When she was good, she was good, Yeah. But I could still see God in the midst of everything. Absolutely. Right? Even still now. And like getting the help with the psychiatrist, I had to go to the clinic on Jefferson. And when I looked at I didn't know where it was at first, but I told my mom, I got to go to a clinic on Jefferson. And she said, oh, that's the old juvenile. And I said, no way. I look at the address again, and it is. Yeah. I remember the address once I looked at it. And so I head over there. I didn't even want to get out of the car because it was so much trauma. I just remember crying so much at the juvenile. But it was like God had to take me back to the root, and see, okay, this is exactly what happened. This is where it all started. You were only 14. You were coming here and, dealing with all this. And so, 22 years later, I'm back at that place and seeking help from the same place that broke me, the same place that now it's a healing place. Yeah. Now it's a clinic for health. Yeah. Mental health. No, blow this place up, please. No.
God know what he's doing. God knows exactly what he's doing.
God has sense of humor.
A big one. And I believe that he takes you back to the place so the healing can begin. And so to hear you say that you went back to this place where it all began to now start the work that you're about to begin.
That's not a coincidence.
That's all God.
No. I think that's what gives me comfort, because like I'm up in the air right now. Like, I need my medication. I need something. I need that healing, because I've counseled with my pastor, and people, we were talking about this first, but people can always be, oh, just pray about it. All you need is God. Oh, you must not be praying right. You must not be in your word. You must not be. No, you must not have lived the life that I lived, because God was always been there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm apart from God right now. What I'm saying is God is leading me to this. Like, God didn't lead me to juvenile. You know what I mean? He didn't do the trauma. He didn't do all the brokenness, all the violence and drugs and everything that I experienced. That wasn't God. You know what I mean? So it's not. God's gonna heal me from that, and He protected me even still then. Yeah. But at the same time, He's gonna put people in my path to help me heal from the stuff that He didn't do to me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, so I understand people saying pray about it, and yes, pray about it.
Do both.
Yes.
Therapy and Jesus can exist. Okay, it's like there's room for both, guys. You don't have to scream it, shout it, just, oh, I'm going to go on Sunday, get these demons out, la, 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 and then I'm going to be okay. No, you got to do the work. And so I love that that you understand that God is the source, but He gives us resources.
For sure.
He gives us people. He gives us medicine. He gives us opportunity. He gives us, even the internet can be helpful. You know, there's so many, there's books. There's so many things, but I've been in therapy 10 plus years, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's helped me. It's not my God, though.
Right.
It has been helpful to me. And when I apply it, because that's the other thing, people can go to therapy for many years.
Oh, yeah.
And not really apply it. They can just say, oh, I'm in therapy.
Just like people go to church for many years, and they do not apply it.
Oh, my Lord.
They do not apply it.
What you say? What you say? Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more,
God gives us so much tools, and we don't use them. We don't use the toolbox.
But we like to say we sanctify.
The toolbox get dust on it.
Okay. We like to say, I go to church every day. Every Sunday, I sit in my little seat, got my little hat on, and what? You still raggedy.
So I've even told one of the church members, me and my girl Julie, she comes to me to the shop to get her hair done, but me and her been going to the church for years. Like, she's been going longer than I have, but we're just talking about how real we are. You know, we're not perfect. I love Julie because I know I can come to her about anything, and it's no judgment because she's not perfect either. And she's gonna tell me stuff that she's been through, and I'm not gonna judge her either. We don't come from a clean background. We don't come from, you know, a white picket fence. You know, we don't come from, and even the white picket fence ain't all white.
Cause come on, cause in that mud, dusty underneath.
Yeah, it make noise when the gate opens.
It's dusty underneath too, so it don't even matter.
So it doesn't matter, but like, what I love about her is I told her one time, what I don't like is perfect people. Yeah. Or people who portray to be perfect, because who are you helping? You're not helping nobody by acting like you're perfect and you got it all together. Yeah. And I don't care how many years you've been in church, you don't got it all together. Yeah. You know, and you're not helping us.
We go to church because we need God. That's the whole point. That's why sometimes it makes me sad when people can't go to church when they're hurting. Are they going through something? Because that's what the church is supposed to do. It's supposed to be there when you're hurting. Yeah. It's supposed to be there as a community to worship the same God, to do things to help other people. But it makes me so sad, especially as a pastor. It's like when people be like, well, I stayed away because I didn't want to come around. I didn't want to, I didn't want to. It's like, what? Why are we here then?
So I get it. I honestly get it because I'm that type of person who does that.
But why do you think that happens?
For me, I don't know, honestly, because I'm going through it right now and I haven't been in church the last couple of weeks. I'm still close to God, though. Yeah. And I think that's the difference, because I feel like...
Do you think it's like shame?
I think it's anxiety more than shame. I'm not ashamed because I know none of them people are perfect. Right. You know what I mean? So once I realize that, I think once people get over that part, then you can come to church as you are. Right. Because you realize, hey.
Everybody in here perfect.
Yeah, nobody, not even the pastor, nobody in here is perfect, right? And what I love about my pastor is he tells us this. He's real. He's a real person, you know? And I can see the real person in him. Yeah. Yeah, he's our leader and he's our pastor, but I don't see him above me. Right. I see him as my brother in Christ who's still trying. He's teaching us. But so once I started working with the youth, you got to learn what you're teaching. So
God gonna test you.
when the pastor starts telling me stuff that's speaking to me, I'm saying I know he's learned this.
Yeah, he had to go through this. Yeah.
So it makes me feel more comfortable that I'm like, okay, like I can come to my pastor. I'm pretty sure I can come to my pastor about pretty much anything, you know. And it's sad when people don't feel that way,
Right?
Because they're ashamed or whatever. But I tell you this: there's something you cannot hide from God. So you can hide from your pastor. You can keep it from your pastor.
Yeah.
You can keep these things from your family members or whatever, but you cannot hide from God.
Yeah.
So once you realize that, why are you trying to put on this perfect front? You know what I mean? When God knows your sin, you might not, like for gay marriages, you know, they wear their sin out loud and proud, right? But you don't know the person who's not, you know, sinning sexually or like you don't know their sin, right? But we're all sinners.
Yeah,
we're all sinners. So how can you look at a gay marriage and judge them like if you just clean?
Right.
You know?
I think it's because it's so outward, and we live in a lot of secret sin, and so
But we're hiding our sin, but not from God.
Right.
So who's really more important? You're hiding from your mom and your pastor, but God sees it.
Right.
So what is the point of hiding, right? So
Shame.
I just feel like perfect people don't help nobody.
Yeah.
Don't help nobody. Talking about what you're struggling with, what sin you're struggling with, is going to help you because there's other people in the same room as you who have gone through it, got out of it, or about to head into it. You know what I mean?
But do you think that's why the go away from church, because of the portrayal of perfect people in there? Because
For me, I don't know what it is. It's not about the people or God. It's about me. It's about me. I'm a strong woman. You know. And so when I have my weak moments, I go in my house and shut the door and I don't call friends. I don't call people. I don't go to church. Like I kind of isolate myself. And I don't know why. I can't tell you it's because this or that. It's just my defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It's my way of, I'll come back when I can hold my head up again. You know what I mean? I don't want people to see me weak.
Yeah.
I don't want to see, I'm vulnerable and I can tell you.
Yeah.
If you call me and tell me, ask me. I'm not going to call people and cry to them and tell them like, hey, I need your help. I need your prayers. I need this.
Yeah.
All I'm going to do is go straight to God,
Yeah.
and me and him going to work it out. And when I'm strong enough again, I can come back out again. You know, that's just how I do my thing.
I could relate to that. I think what I learned though, when I would isolate, is I would get beat up more. You know, the enemy was just like, oh, nobody care about you. You alone. Oh,
It's true.
Who calling you? Oh, ain't nobody even checking on you. You ain't going. And so he literally uses those moments to beat us up. But I do know the balance between like, I'm going to God
Well, it's
first.
one thing to isolate yourself and not have God right there with you, right? And it's another thing to isolate yourself with God. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's my alone time with God. Like, okay, God, all this stuff is stressing me out. Let me just align with you right now. Let me align with you right now.
Yeah.
I can't think about
Gotta
nothing else
unplug.
right now.
You got to go to the wilderness.
Because I've been in both situations where I isolate myself and let the devil beat me up by myself. And then I've been in this situation right now in this season where it's like, I'm not letting you go, God. But I got to let go of everything else.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not letting you go.
Real.
I know for a fact you're not letting me go.
Yeah.
So we're going to work this out. I'm going to have to take a step back and breathe a little bit, get some professional help. I'll be back in the church, I promise you. But right now, I need my family time. My ministry's at home right now.
For sure.
Unless I'm mentally able and stable to be there for my kids, I can't be there for the church and everybody else and put on, you know what I mean? Like, go and smile. And, like, if I go to church right now, I'm going to be too real with them. Like, no, it's not good.
And make room.
You know what I mean? Like,
but we should be able to stop church
but when
service
you go
and
on
be like,
Sunday, but when you go on Sunday morning, everybody's smiling and
So?
everybody's happy to be in church.
So
to
what?
be the Debbie Downer and be like, no.
So, but there
Hi.
should be room for that.
Yeah.
There should be room for people that want to come in and their mascara is hanging.
Yeah.
And their shirt is ripped. And
There should be.
There should be room for that.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
But and that's exactly how I feel right now. My mascara is smeared.
Yeah.
But the type of person I am is like, I'll catch up with y'all when I wipe my face.
I understand that, and I think that's culture. I think that's how the culture is. I think that's how society has made.
I think everybody's like that though.
Yeah,
like
to a certain extent, because some people, after you hit the bottom, there's a point of like, well, I don't care what you think. I don't care if you see me like this. I don't care because you like this too. I'm just showing it, and so that's the thing that people hate about homosexuality is because they are so loud. They're so like in your face. But they also expose like what other people feel but don't say.
Yeah.
And so, not saying that humping around, you know, hear what I'm saying? But they're very boisterous. That because they don't have in their mind they're like, and I'm not speaking like it's them because I was in that lifestyle. But I remember in my mind it's like I have nothing to lose. I was like in my mind being in that lifestyle. I felt like, well, they don't like me anyway, so I'm gonna do this. They don't. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. And so I didn't naturally have anything to lose, but I really didn't like myself.
Yeah.
I really didn't care about myself. And so
you were just playing like you didn't care about what other people thought.
But it hurt me. And it pushed me actually to do more worse things. And so I think, honestly, this is really a cry of my heart, is that I wish we could show up as we really are. You know, I really have a heart for the autistic community because they're honest. They're honest to a fault. Like they can't help that they're honest. They have no choice. But it's not. And I'm not trying to say I wish the world was autistic.
We are.
But I wish the whole world was like that. But it's like their honesty is refreshing. It's like what would it be like if we were truly honest? Like if I always tell my husband I wish we didn't have to wear clothes because I'd rather be really naked. But not just like physically naked, but like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and so. I really hate that one of the places where we can't be that is in a place where we're supposed to be that. And so that just is that's my own little like.
See, I think there's rooms, like for me, in my mind, there's rooms for that in the church, but not in the big sanctuary. You know what I mean? I can go to the prayer room and be vulnerable, or I can go to my pastor's office and be vulnerable, or I can go to the altar and be vulnerable with God. But it's like, going into the sanctuary and greeting people. Honestly, I just thought about this right now. Going into the church and seeing all the people smiling and being blessed and being happy. Okay, it's contagious. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. And right now, that's not where I want to be right now. Right now, I need to take care of my stuff. Right now, it would just be me faking. It would be just me just being like, oh, I'm good. Hi, nice to see y'all. Because it's contagious. Everybody else is happy. Why would I come in here with all my baggage when everybody else is blessed to be here this Sunday morning? You know what I mean?
But is everybody blessed?
But they're saying that, right? But who wants to come into church and everybody's sad and mad and crying and depressed?
It sounds like a
real
church
one,
to me.
right? Yeah, but
it sounds like church to me.
It's not something that people will gravitate to. You know why they don't go to therapy? Because people are sad and depressed, and you know what I mean.
But that's not all therapy is. So that's like a stigmatism.
It is.
Not stigmatism, but a stereotype that you go to therapy because you're sad, you're angry, and all those things. You can also go to therapy because you are on the other side.
But see, people don't go to therapy because they don't want to bring that up. They don't want to bring up their depression and their trauma and all that. They just want to cover it up, right? So it's the same thing with church. Like, people don't want to go because they don't want to heal from all that bull crap that they've been going through. You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't want to face the truth. They don't want to face their sins or face their scars or, any of that. Yeah. Like, therapy and church is a lot the same, right? A lot in the gym. Therapy, church, and the gym.
There's a lot of mixtures and a lot of the same things.
Right, it'll change your life. All three of them places can change your life.
I think my hope and my heart is for sure that we would be able to be a body that could come like that, and there would be room for that. Where the service would like I know a lot of churches need to do traditional things. We need to sing.
And I was just about to say that.
We gotta do this. We gotta take up the tithes. We gotta pray. It's a whole. But what happens if you stopped for a moment and was authentic and let the Holy Spirit really run? Because that's one of the things that God told me before I was going to be, he asked me to be a pastor. He said, a lot of people do this, but they do it without me. I have the plan. I have the blueprint, but then they start doing their own thing. And a lot of times, how church looks is not how God wants it to look.
Right.
we made it away. And so I think that really matters to me as a person, as a pastor, is that I'm able to see the need of somebody and stop every agenda to make sure they're okay. Because that's what David did as a shepherd. Like when there was a sheep that was something wrong with it, he would stop and make sure everybody's good, but go take care of that one. Leave the 99 for that one. And so it's like, why don't we do that in the church? We leave the 99 this whole service. Hey, you know what? I was just about to preach.
Cut the music.
I was just about to preach, but there's so many needs in here. Let's just stop and pray. Like, people don't do that. And so full tangent. We did went the whole left, but I understand.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I know there's a time to cave, to go to the wilderness and deal with some things and face some things, and then there's a time to be with the body.
And I'm so glad you said wilderness, because that's exactly how I feel. And for me, I want to have a group of women who can be in the wilderness together.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because there's moments in our lives that we're in the dark.
Yeah.
We're in the dark. And we don't know, we're just taking one day at a time.
Yeah.
A lot of women are just existing.
Yeah.
We have all these roles and all these duties we have to fulfill, and we forget who we are in God, and what God wanted for us.
Yeah.
Because I'm the mom, I'm the wife, I'm the, business owner, I'm this and that, and you know what I mean? I'm carrying all these titles, and I forget who I am and who God called me to be.
First.
You know what I mean? First, right? First. Because once I'm not aligned with God, everything else ain't aligned.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important for us to take time to be alone with God. Whether it is on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, whatever day, right? But just having those times where it's just me and God. It ain't the TV preaching. It ain't the TV singing songs. It's just me and God. Silence.
Yeah.
And that is a dangerous place. Silence is a dangerous place because, like my pastor told me, God was trying to do something with me, but I was just too busy.
Yeah.
Got too much going on that I can't have no alone time with God. And once I got that alone time, it got real. It got real,
Right.
Really real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I didn't have all these things to cover up.
Yeah.
Distractions. And I went into a wilderness with God, and it was just us.
Yeah.
And it's just us right now. But I'm seeking the help so that when other women come to me who are in the wilderness, I know how to help them out or help them take one day at a time.
Yeah.
Or seek the medical help, professional help that they need, things like that. So I thank God for always being in my life and having favor. I do think that the ancestors are waiting on me to break these curses. I feel that pressure. I feel the heaviness of my ancestors. Like, my grandma wasn't able to do it. All her kids, have trauma, have, all this going on. My mom's kids had all this going on, but my kids gotta come better. They gotta have a better, healthier lifestyle, healthier mom, healthier patterns, habits, all that. I don't want to normalize none of the crap that I was, taught as a child.
That's so amazing. I think the things that you're hearing, outside of you feeling like this, the ancestors, I think it's like the desire for God to crying out to your bloodline, saying like,
their
hey,
prayers. Like, I feel my grandma's prayers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my grandma had her lifestyle, but before she died, she changed her life, gave it to God, and then she ended up getting, she lived for God probably a good 10 years, the last 10 years of her life. She was crazy though. Even when I was young, she was crazy. Went to prison and all that, but ended up getting right with God before she died and living out the rest of her life with God. And so I know she still had to suffer from her actions with her kids. The thing, she didn't go in peace. I know she didn't go in peace because her kids weren't all following God when she left, But I remember her telling me, if I have to go for my family to get closer to God, then I'm ready to go. She wanted her death to bring us closer to God. And I told her, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I want to see you again, Grandma. So I will live for God. I already had a relationship with God before that, but I knew I would never stop trying to have a real relationship with God, or like give up on God or anything like that, because I have somebody on the other side waiting for me.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Come on, Mary
I made
Jane.
a promise to my grandma, like, Grandma, I don't know about your other grandkids, but you going to see me again. Yeah.
I'm going to do right. I
you
really
don't got to worry about me,
okay.
Grandma. She got peace on me, for sure.
I really appreciate your vulnerability to share your story, to share your life, to share where you are right now. I think it's impactful to many people, not just your age, older, younger, whoever may watch this, to understand the power of God, His saving grace, ultimately to save you, and still saving you,
for sure,
and still leading you to healing and to more things, and understanding how addictions is a big part of addictions is coping. Just trying to cope. We turn to addiction for coping mechanisms due to roots that we have not uprooted. And with the help of God, He literally will show us where it is, how to deal it, and then how to go through it. Yeah. And so we're not alone. There's people like me and you. We both have dealt with addiction. Like, God is helping us. And so I'm encouraged. I'm empowered. I feel excited for you. Yeah. Where you are right now. Come on, do your work, man.
Right.
People, do your work. Do your root work, okay? Yeah. MaryJane is in that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just before we go, you want to tell people, like, anything, like, what are you up to? Like, what next? I think what you're up to next is, like, what you doing for yourself right now,
yeah,
right?
My journey right now is self-care.
Yeah.
And that ain't getting my nails done.
Okay.
It's really, like, mentally being stable and being healthy mentally.
Yeah.
It starts with mental. You know what I mean? Anything, you can work out as much as you want, but if your mental ain't right, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to get it together. Like, and it starts in your head, you know, because your brain is a powerful weapon, and it can really destroy you if you let it. You know, the brain, like, we get stuck in these mindsets, and you have to get set free. That's why it's the renewing of your mind.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because your mind is what's going to get you up or down. You know, you're going to go up or down depending on how your mind is. So right now, MaryJane is working on her mental.
Come on.
And if I thought I was good before, I'm just really excited to see what God's gonna do.
Come on, God.
You know what I mean? Like, I was really stunning.
You
back
thought you
then.
were doing something. Like, God about to show you His big one.
Right.
He about to show you His big one.
I was little MaryJane.
You're gonna be really out there eating it up. So that is exciting.
I'm excited. I really am, because I know there's blessings coming. You know what I mean? God has blessed me so much and I wasn't even where I am now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, dang, if I keep going in this route, you know, what could God do for me? It could be imaginable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what He's got.
I think the greatest thing is going to be healing.
Oh, for sure.
That's going to be the greatest thing you're going to ever, that's going to be the greatest blessing, because with healing comes peace. With healing comes
everything else. Everything else flows. Yeah. So
it's amazing.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that flow. Like, I'm ready for overflow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for overflow.
Come on, overflow.
I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of barely making it. I'm tired of just putting on the front.
Yeah.
I want to really be good mentally. Like,
I
really want to be good mentally, and that's my goal this year, is to, like, get myself mentally strong, mentally ready for whatever else God has for me. And whatever the enemy has for me, we're going to be ready.
You heard that?
We're going to be ready, okay?
You heard that? You heard that? You heard that, enemy?
Yes, I am going to be ready for whatever fight God ready for me.
Okay.
You know, I got it. Victory is already here.
Jenny Weaver said, "The devil can't have me or my family. This is an eviction notice into the enemy. The chain breakers in the room. Ain't no telling what we about to do.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
Chain breakers. Generational chain breakers. Let's go." So thank you again for being here. I appreciate you being here, joining us. Man, God's about to do a big one.
And one more thing. If any women are in the wilderness right now and you don't have nobody to talk to, you don't have nobody to reach out to me, reach out to Tiffany. We are non-judgmental, and we done been through it all. There's not much you can say that I haven't seen or done.
Yeah.
So if you're in the wilderness right now and you just need a friend, you just need somebody to talk to, reach out.
Let's go.
Yeah. Because
we're
that's
stronger
what God
together.
put us on earth for.
We're stronger together.
Yes.
We're stronger together. So you know what it is. Women empowerment. God's going to be the center.
Yes.
And He's going to keep doing what He's doing, which is healing us all. So thank y'all for joining us. God bless y'all. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.